Welcome to the Views Unfolded podcast, episode 2, The Uncertainties of Life. Today I'm sitting in the Schönbrunn Park in Vienna, Austria. I want to talk about how life never stays the same for too long, how things change, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse, but it never stays the same. The ever changing circumstances in life can be overwhelming and sometimes hard to cope with and get with a new program. Sometimes we refuse the changes and we work against them, but truly we're just working against ourselves and the nature of life. So, how do we deal with all of these feelings, the fears of change, and keeping the mental health in check during these events? Well, hopefully, you'll get an answer to that as this episode unfolds. So, what do I mean by the uncertainties of life? Well, for me, it's about how things around us change, our relationships, friendships, jobs, and sometimes our homes. But it's also how we can change on the inside while everything on the outside seems to stay the same, leaving us feeling that we don't physically fit into the places we once used to fit into. One moment you're living at home with your parents, dreaming about the day you move out. Other moment, you're in your own apartment, realizing you're never going to live with your parents or your siblings again. And then again, the next moment, you find yourself unemployed, having to move back into your parents' house. That's what I mean by the uncertainties of life. How we think that life will continue in this line of next things to happen, but we don't expect the unexpected in those series of events. Sometimes life goes in circles until the circle is completed, and sometimes it goes in waves. Well, doesn't that give you instant anxiety? Knowing that just because something is the way it is right now and having accomplished things you waited for so long, all of a sudden turn back around and aren't what you thought they were. I'm here to ease your anxiety. The key is to learning and accepting that life is ever changing and that it's okay that things aren't the way you think they should be right now, but rather exactly as you need them to be in order for you to grow and end up exactly where you're meant to end up. I myself was a very organized person as a teenager, believing that life was supposed to be lived by checking boxes. If I study hard and get good grades, I'll get into a good college. If I work while studying in college, I'll have great opportunities awaiting when I graduate. But who knew that would hit a pandemic the same year I graduate and struggle the same way I would have if I never went to that college or never worked a day in my life? Who knew that I would finally land my dream job after a couple of years of being patient, climb the ladder in a few months, and then 2 weeks after promotion get told, sorry, we don't have the funds to support this role anymore? Well, isn't that exactly what we're all going through right now? This is nothing new or groundbreaking. It's life and the constant changes of it. Don't get me wrong, I don't say that with such ease. It took me years to get to the point of acceptance and understanding that life never stays the same. But it doesn't mean that all good things come to an end or that all good things change for the worse. The good things can change to a different kind of good as well. Let's say 1 month you and your partner love going out and having dinners and going on adventures. The next minute you're staying in the whole month, being cozy, watching TV, just the two of you, far away from the world, inside your own little bubble. You can't say that one is better than the other. It just simply changed to a different kind of routine that you now get to enjoy in a different kind of way. But how do you cope with the life changing events when one moment you were enjoying all of that with your partner and now all of a sudden you're strangers again? Or one moment you're living your dream life in your dream apartment and then all of a sudden you have no money to pay rent anymore? Even mentioning these things make my heart sink because I know how difficult it is to go through the pain of those type of changes and the anxiety that comes with it. But fear not, you will survive them. So, how do we cope? Well, first of all, the first stage is, of course, being sad and grieving what you've lost, something that is a must in order to let go of things. The other stage is letting 2 weeks pass and knowing that even if the pain is still there, it will at least feel more like the new normal to you. The third stage, which is something that should coexist with both stage one and two, is accepting that this probably happened for the better. Everything always has a reason for happening, especially the big changes in life. Try to see them as redirection and guidance, even if you have to gaslight yourself. Just let yourself know that the reason will reveal itself when it's time. Even if you can't make sense of why this is happening to you, think of it as why is this happening for me? And you will find out why. Just give it some time. The short answer to how do you cope with everything is, I would say, live in the present and enjoy every moment of where you are currently, even if you're not the happiest with your circumstances. Surely there is something in it that you will miss once life passes you into the next phase. I've come to realize that life isn't about the goals you accomplish or the boxes you tick. Because as we've established, those can quickly change. Instead, it's about going through the processes of each phase and each chapter, enjoying what there is to enjoy in that moment in time, and learning from the hardships you have to face. Once you've gotten yourself to the next phase or chapter, if you will, you'll realize that if you actually learned the lessons that were presented to you, all of a sudden you reached a new level in life where you feel upgraded on the inside. Even if things around you don't look upgraded, the self truly has been. This is growth and maturity. And to go back to what I was saying in the beginning, changes don't always have to be things that happen to us. There are often things that we choose to change as well. Have you ever realized that one day you're just not feeling that friendship anymore? Or all of a sudden you're not so happy in the city you're living? Well, that's probably because you outgrew it. And there's nothing more for you to gain from that situation at that given time. Even though it was good, as long as it lasted. But it doesn't mean that it has to stay the same. It doesn't mean that you have to carry it with you all the time, or now you chose to live in that city and you have to be there forever. No, you don't have to. And then you decide to take the steps to move and change locations. But even though you chose all of this for yourself and it's a good change, you will feel uncomfortable at first. And that's okay. Here we go through the same stages as when other type of changes occur. First we grieve what we left behind, even if we chose to leave it behind. Then we give it 2 weeks to settle, and then we accept that this had to happen in order for something better to come along. So these are obviously the waves in life, but what did I mean by life going in circles? And sometimes we feel like no matter how much we try to change things, we just keep ending back where we started. The same cycles keep repeating themselves. It's because there's still something to be learned and taken from that situation. If you keep running from a place or a situation and you keep ending back there, Did you stop to think about why you're actually running from it? Perhaps it's not really what you think, and you keep getting these false starts in life because you were never truly finished with the lessons that came before. The cycle never ended. So now you have to repeat it and learn the lesson this time. So next time, you don't end up into this circle, but you do truly make the change and you'll go on from there. So stop for a minute and reflect. What is the deeper reason behind the changes you want to make? What is the reason behind it truly? Are you running from an issue that was simply masked as a friend, for example? But then every new friend you seem to make has the same traits as the friend you're running from. It's most likely because you were supposed to face a lesson in that friendship, but instead you got frustrated and moved on to a new friend. And you will keep getting the same lesson until you stop and realize what you need to realize. Perhaps it's as simple as needing to stand up for yourself and not letting a friend take advantage of you. The lesson here would be knowing your worth and not accepting certain behaviors from people, leading you to then attract and choose better friends next time and let the ones that don't appreciate you simply fall back on their own. Enjoy each chapter of your life. Some are meant to teach us rough lessons that will most likely improve our lives in the long run, and some are simply to enjoy life as it is. But trust that there's always something to be grateful for, no matter where you are in life. You just need to look in order to see it. I know that life isn't always simple, and the changes we face aren't just something that we can accept and move on from. But what I'm saying is accept the fact that life is changing. Even if you don't enjoy the changes that have happened to you, just acknowledge them. Know that it's normal for life to change quickly and that it happens to most of us, to all of us. Sometimes the changes are good and wanted, sometimes they're not. And I know how much anxiety it can bring to know that something can change so quickly. But for me, it helps knowing that this is something that everyone experiences and something that's natural and bound to happen. Always make sure to check in with yourself, with your feelings, meditate, journal, go out for a walk, talk to a friend. Just remember to cope with all of the feelings that are coming up for you. And know that each new phase and chapter in life has something to give us, even if it's not a happy change. The bad changes, as we call them, are there to help us grow and help us make a better life for ourselves and make those happy changes. Sometimes we lose our jobs and we think that the world is ending, but in fact, you'll come to realize that you're actually never happy at that job. You weren't being appreciated, you weren't being paid enough, you weren't enjoying your life and your relationships because all your energy went to that job. Now you have the opportunity, even if you stay unemployed for a while, you have the opportunity to enjoy other things in life and choose a better job for yourself in the future. Even if a relationship ended and someone is no longer in your life, look back at what that person gave you. If you only have happy memories with that person, then appreciate them. If that person is no longer in your life because they were not good for you, then you know how to choose a better person next time. You get to know your worth. You get to choose a partner this time that is actually right for you. We never know how long we're gonna get with someone or at a certain place or situation. But the only thing we can do is enjoy all the moments we get. And when they're not enjoyable, we try to be kind to ourselves and love ourselves. So, to conclude, life truly is ever changing. And the only way to cope with it in a healthy way is to go through the changes. Let them happen. Don't fight against them. Learn the lessons you need to learn. Accept where you are at the moment and know that this too shall pass, just like the phase before did. So, thank you for listening to this episode on the Views Unfolded podcast. And don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments and let me know what themes you want me to talk about next.